delusion of grandeur that he was vital to the world's survival. Poor Uncle Edgar. You will take good care of him, will you not? Cynthia asked. Mideast stalemate continues, the radio droned in the background. Congress passes Transportation Act. And in the South Pacific, the tiny island of Tatoa is destroyed by a tidal wave. Details on this and all the news in an hour. Did he say Tatoa? The doctor asked, freezing in place. Yes, the number for the Chronicle, please, the doctor said, grabbing the phone. Thank you. Hello, I want to check on a news story. I just heard something on the radio about a tidal wave destroying an island. Yes, that is it. Are there any details? 1,000. Really? When this afternoon? I mean, exactly what time? Thank you. Miss Walker. The doctor shouted. Yes. Doctor? Tatoa was destroyed at 3:17 this afternoon. Is that bad? Last week, Santa Barbara was hit by an earthquake, the doctor muttered to himself, his heart pounding. I am not taking any chances. Oh my God, the landlady. She will destroy it. Santa Barbara? Get Mr. Witherspoon released immediately. Drive him home. You personally as fast as you can. The doctor rushed to the apartment, bursting through the door. Don't touch the thing. You did not, did you? You have not touched anything or moved anything. Not yet, the landlady replied, looking annoyed. Why? Because this is the creation of a disordered mind. And by studying it, analyzing it just exactly as he left it, I can come to a deeper insight into Mr. Witherspoon's problem, the doctor reasoned, though doubt was beginning to creep into his professional armor. He is a loony. What else do you have to know? No. It is not that simple. I cannot rent this place with garbage in it. All right, I will rent it, the doctor said, desperate to preserve the machine. You? Yes. I will give you double what you are getting. I will be up later with the check. Thank you, Mrs. Mulligan. He has escaped, the doctor said, realizing Edgar was gone. Excuse me, Mr. Witherspoon. Mr. Witherspoon. Should I call the cops? The landlady asked. No. Everything is going to be fine. You have a handkerchief? Oh yes, right away. Thanks. That lady had me dressed so fast. I left mine behind, Edgar said, appearing from around the corner. Mr. Witherspoon, I do not know how to begin to apologize, the doctor said, bowing his head. Nothing in my training had prepared me for a case like yours. Well, nice meeting you, Edgar said. Where are you going? Away finally after 11 years. But what about tough? The voice spoke to me while I was in your hospital. It said, Edgar, have you ever been to Miami? I said no, but I used to think it would be a nice place to retire. Go for it, the voice said. You are off duty, the doctor said, looking at the machine. You mean all this is not necessary anymore? Sure it is. It is absolutely essential. The world still has to be kept in balance. So who is going to? And look, it needs adjusting already. That is it. Now, if I can just get a ping-pong ball in there by 7:13. Well, I guess we solved that little problem. I would get cracking if I was you. Impossible, the doctor said, shaking his head. I refuse. Jeremy, really, you will grow to like it, Edgar said, patting him on the shoulder. Give it a chance. So long. Do not take any wooden nickels. Unless you really need them, of course. Mr. Witherspoon. The doctor called out, but the old man was already walking away. No, the doctor groaned, looking at the complex mess of wires. A tambourine. I have to find a tambourine right away. Can you help me? Do you know where I can find a tambourine? If in the next few months you notice that there has been a spate of catastrophes, or things are just not going right, remember that Edgar Witherspoon's replacement is learning how to make some precise adjustments. Do not worry. His education will not last long. And then you will have a chance to make a difference. Perhaps you might give thanks to a physician whose practice extends to the well-being of the entire planet. Dr. Jeremy Sinclair offers a unique form of preventative medicine found only in the Twilight Zone. The doctor sat down, picking up a stray paper clip. He looked at it with a new sense of wonder. It was small, insignificant, and yet, in the hands of the right person, it was a vital component in the machinery of existence. He turned the metal clip over in his fingers, feeling the cool weight of it. It was funny, he thought, how life shifted from the mundane to the extraordinary without a moment of warning. He had spent his entire career trying to normalize people, trying to fit them into the tidy boxes of what was considered sane and rational. And yet, here he was, sitting in the apartment of a man everyone had labeled crazy, contemplating the balance of the world. He stood up and walked over to the machine. It was a beautiful disaster of objects. He saw the tap shoe, the bicycle spokes, the doll head. He began to see the logic in the chaos. Each item was placed with intention, a weight here, a counterbalance there. It was art, he realized. It was the art of maintaining the equilibrium of the globe. He felt a sudden, profound respect for Edgar. The man had not been hiding from reality. He had been serving it. The doctor took a deep breath. He picked up his medical bag, but he did not leave. Instead, he pulled out a notepad and began to draw the configuration of the gears. He needed to know where the next adjustment would be needed. He needed to be ready. He looked out the window at the bustling city below. People were rushing to work, to meetings, to appointments, entirely unaware of the delicate strings being pulled by an elderly man on his way to Miami and a doctor in a cluttered apartment. The noise of the city seemed to change its rhythm, sounding less like chaos and more like a symphony that needed a conductor. The doctor smiled. He had always wanted to help people, to heal, to mend. He had imagined that meant curing diseases or setting broken bones. He had never imagined it meant keeping a tambourine in place to prevent a tremor in a distant land, or finding a ping-pong ball to balance the weather patterns over a vast ocean. But as he looked at the machine, he felt a sense of purpose that no medical degree had ever provided. He turned back to the machine, his eyes scanning for what might be needed next. He saw a gap, a space where something was missing. He looked around the room, his eyes adjusting to the unique landscape of Edgar's collection. He found a spool of thread, a broken watch, and a marble. He began to work. It was not as easy as it looked. His hands, usually so steady with a scalpel, fumbled with the delicate wires. He had to be precise. He had to be careful. Hours passed, and the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the room. The doctor worked with a quiet, meditative intensity. He was no longer Dr. Jeremy Sinclair, the skeptic. He was a student of the universe, learning the language of the machine. He heard the faint humming of the gears, a sound that seemed to resonate deep within his own chest. It was the sound of the world spinning, of tides rising and falling, of peace being maintained, one tiny adjustment at a time. He thought of Edgar. He wondered what he was doing right now. Maybe he was sitting on a beach in Miami, watching the sun sink into the ocean, smiling because he knew everything was in its right place. The doctor felt a twinge of envy, but it was quickly replaced by a sense of pride. He was part of it now. He was the guardian of the balance. He found the piece he needed, an old, tarnished bell, hidden under a pile of newspapers. He lifted it carefully, feeling its weight. He knew exactly where it went. He walked to the center of the structure, feeling the familiar hum of energy. He placed the bell gently into the designated slot. The entire contraption seemed to shudder, a soft chime echoing through the apartment, and then, silence. The doctor stepped back, holding his breath. He waited for a catastrophe, for a report of a disaster, for the world to shake. But nothing happened. The city outside remained calm. The birds continued to sing in the trees. The wind rustled through the leaves. Everything was indeed in balance. He sat down in the chair, a wave of exhaustion washing over him. He had done it. He had made his first adjustment. It was a small thing, a simple bell, but it was enough.